Hi, welcome back. I'm super excited today to talk more about these drones and orbs. I am sitting down with Terrel Rogers. He lives in New York. Terrel, I know you've been following this story closely as well. What are you actually seeing? What are you seeing in like a day-to-day basis since November 18th when this started?
I want to start with New Jersey. When they first reported it here in New York City, an eyewitness, they told Eyewitness News that the only time the drones, they're saying that the only time they did not show up, November 28th. Now, for those who are not sure, that's Thanksgiving. So there was a joke about this, how, wait a minute, they chose, that's the only day where they was never seen.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of other eyewitnesses confirmed this too. So that was
okay.
So when I first heard that, I was like, okay, maybe they are drones then, because
that's new information. Yeah, right. I didn't know that.
That was interesting, but then they showed up next day and days after that. Listen, ETs have sense of humor, so like they have emotions like we do. They could have been doing that. 21 mayors, 21. That's a lot of mayors.
That's a lot.
21 mayors reported this. There are 21. So there's 21 counties in New Jersey. 21, and only 12 made reports. So majority of reports have been in mid New Jersey and northern New Jersey. So places such as Newark, Jersey City, all those East Rutherford, they've seen it. The only location that reported it in New York City is Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, and Staten Island. Now, Staten Island and Bay Ridge, they both have military bases.
Okay.
So no other areas, no reports in Manhattan, none in the Bronx, none here in Bed-Stuy where I'm at, or any other parts of Brooklyn, none in Queens.
Okay.
The two locations that reported them have military bases, which is Bay Ridge and Staten Island. That's
interesting too.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, that's notable.
Yeah, interesting. I'm not going to say alarming, but Congressman Van Drew, who has started these conspiracy theories, which I'm going to call them, he said there's a mothership stationed on the coast of New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that this mothership is from Iran. Now, the Pentagon has said it's not from Iran. I don't believe it's from Iran either. I don't believe Iran is sending these drones. I don't believe it's them. Is there a mothership off New Jersey? I would have to go down here to see it. But so the Pentagon is saying that it's not from Iran. And then they said that the drones that are being reported are not from the Pentagon. But it was that one thing they said. They said the mothership is not from Iran. Wait, so does that confirm there's a mothership, or they said the mothership is not from Iran? They never said there's no there's been
there is no mothership.
Wars, some reports are saying no mothership, some are saying there is one, but they're saying the mothership is not from Iran. So
it seems as if there are two different types of things that are being seen. There's orb-like movement, like with these orbs that are, I've mostly heard them say that they're orange and red in color, and they fly around and they move fast and they move irregularly. But then there's also a different type of thing. Let's just say thing, because they're calling them drones. They're not using the word UAP anymore, and they're definitely not using UFO. They've now started saying UASs. Those seem to have noise, and they have propellers. People say that they can see the propellers, and they have blinking lights on them, and they're triangular shaped, and they're the size of a SUV is what they're saying. So to me, I think there's two different things going on here. This is my intuition speaking. I think these orbs are mysterious and they don't know where they're coming from. So they, as in the Pentagon, has unleashed its own drones to investigate these drone-like orbs. But they don't want to say that they are the Pentagon's drones, because then they would have to say what the orbs are. And I don't think they know. I think they're really clueless. They can't figure it out.
Yeah, I think they are in the dark. Not just the local governments, but the Pentagon too. They say don't trust the government, but I do believe the government when they say they don't know what these things are. I do believe them. They're saying they don't know what these things are. Now the videos of what you're saying, there have been triangular ones, New York and New Jersey. I've seen videos of what they all look like. Some look like airplanes, which they weren't airplanes. And they had red, green, orange lights in them as well and everything. Yep. Local commercial planes do not have those lights. They usually have the red blinker or the crystal light. And there was others where the entire object was brightly lit. and there are no drones that are like brightly lit. And we
Right.
had a few of those videos released actually this week here in New York. Two new reports in California and Oregon. The Oregon one, which I found out today, for
Yep.
commercial pilots reported UFOs flying over Oregon. But what's interesting about this is that they said the objects were going in circles, up and down constantly, and
Spiraling.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was zipping in and out to the Pacific and back within
Yep.
seconds, not just minutes, like within seconds, and that they was turning red and green lights.
Yeah.
And the one in California, they saying it's a drone, but then when they showed the photo, this thing has a cockpit window. No drone that me and you both know has a cockpit. I
No.
don't recall humans or ETs flying inside drones. Like that's mostly remotely controlled. So it looked like something out of a science fiction film.
There was also a recording of a orb like thing in Miami. That one I just saw today. On my own local like Facebook group, there was someone that said that there was an orb off of Alki Beach. And then another person said, it's over my house now. And they were all trying to get photos or video of it, and no one could. But multiple people saw it. So I'm gonna say I think that there are also sightings in Washington. I think this is happening kind of everywhere. If people start talking about it and start like paying attention at night, I think that more and more we're gonna see more and more videos come out about this.
My thing is like I feel bad for people that see these things like usually on a daily basis, because this has been technically been going on like for years. It's just that for some reason they chose regions, New Jersey being an example, because they're using New Jersey as a really huge hotspot right now. When the reports first came out, a lot of these UFOs, drones, whichever one the public wants to choose, it was mostly in the military bases. When I heard about Bay Ridge, I live here in New York City. That's a military base, Bay Ridge. Same thing with Staten Island, military base. I know there's stuff going on in the world and everything that's been heating up, and that does tend to play a role when things get a little crazy. ETs, UFOs tend to show up to make sure that humanity is not going to destroy itself. Then there's some other stuff too. Other theories I have. Google recently just made a quantum computer that could be good and bad. Maybe the ETs think there's something bad come out of that possibly. And then also a theory I had said last year when President Biden he ordered shoot downs of unidentified flying objects. You don't think those ETs are not going to come back and investigate?
You're right. There's a lot going on, and this is like slowly happening, but it seems to me that it's speeding up. So I'm on the West Coast, you're on the East Coast. In our media, like our mainstream media, not what we see on YouTube or News Nation or something like that, but like in our mainstream media, they are not reporting about this story. And to the point where when I go to like the local coffee shop, a lot of people don't even know this is going on. Now in New York, I'm assuming, are they reporting about this on mainstream media?
Yeah, they actually report it daily.
Daily. And then
yeah,
how
they've been reporting this since like literally November.
When you go to like your local coffee shop or your pub or whatever where you talk to people, what is the sentiment from people? Like, are they scared? Is there anxiety behind it, or do people just think it's a nuisance? Like, what's the sentiment?
So interestingly, there hasn't been like much anxiety as they reported like on television. Most people that I've talked to, family and just strangers in general, everybody has been agreeing like they don't believe they're drones. They believe they are UFOs. Like I believe there was UFOs because when I saw the videos, they looked like UFOs to me. They didn't look like drones to me at all. When they said like they was like car size, but then you had mentioned that there are car size drones, but at the same time, it wasn't just the size. It's like the way they was looking and everything. I'm like, these do not look like regular looking drones. Like I've seen drones, you've seen drones. They didn't really fit the description of like drones. Like they've been avoiding the word UFOs, even though some mainstream networks are like teasing it, like could they possibly actually be UFOs? But most New Yorkers, there hasn't really like been no fear thing. Nobody's been fearful about it. Most people agree that they're UFOs, and they're just waiting for the government to like just admit it already that they're UFOs. Stop calling them drones, because I know I'm getting tired of that too, and a lot of New Yorkers are actually getting tired of that because most New Yorkers don't believe they're drones. I just think that the problem is the majority of humanity will probably not handle this well if they was to come out and say like, oh, these are UFOs, ETs, and that's why I think the government is so afraid. Even though I still believe the government doesn't know what's going on, but they might know to a little bit extent of what they could be, but if they was to find out that, oh yeah, these are UFOs with ETs behind it, it's like, okay, now how do we adjust this to the public? Because we know a lot of people aren't gonna maturely handle this well. Maybe they will, but unfortunately, because of Miami, because it goes back to that, they did not handle that well. They did not. I will stick to that. I feel like if they just had handled that properly, Miami could be tied to this as well, with what's going on. But it's just a lot of unsolved mysteries that shouldn't have to be unsolved. In this case, should be like solved automatically.
How long do you think the Pentagon can drag this out? Because we're going on about a month, like November 18th to December 12th is almost 1 month of an investigation that they supposedly are throwing their resources at with no answers, like not even like a lead. Like, how long can they drag this out?
Like realistically, I would say January, because one is taxpayers' money's been involved in these investigations too. Like that's financial like effects and everything, and also due to the fact that they're actually admitting that there's no foreign connections to this. So like Iran's not connected, China, they're literally saying that these things, these objects or whatever they are not from countries from overseas.
I find it strange at the hearings, though, in the last 2 days that no one asked, could they be off worldly or other dimensional? Like, no one has asked those questions. And I think that's very strange.
There was something strange in a hearing I was watching yesterday live. I forget his name. They asked him, why aren't you like landing them or like shooting them down or anything? And he was saying that they can't, or they don't have the authority, or it was something like that. Yeah. Like they're quick to take down like other drones, which is true. They have taken down drones before. I mean, President Biden. Nothing against Biden, but you was quick to shoot down these unidentified flying objects, but all of a sudden it's like crickets.
Well, I talked to a drone expert the other day, and he said that if you try to shoot at these drones or orbs, they put your missile directly back at that jet that shot it. And so I think that they know after trying to shoot things down that they won't even be successful with it.
But this is true because we're inferior when it comes to these things. Our technology is not on their match, and even if the military was to shoot them down, they know they're not going to be successful, so that's when they're not doing nothing. It's actually similar to the Phoenix Lights. I saw a new documentary where the two fighter jets actually saw the object at close encounter back in, I think it was 97. Even though Arizona, they go through that almost on a daily basis as well. So this is what I mean. Like, I feel sorry for like places that actually go through this a lot compared to like, oh, now we have areas where it's like they're not used to that and they're like freaking out. Hot times like January and stuff, because a lot of things are supposed to be like heating up, like on the world scale, not just political, but just the world scale. You're seeing what's happening like with Syria, and Russia, China, the U.S., Canada, France, like, and all of a sudden they're showing up now and everything, like out of like, but this has happened before. They show up when they think that humanity is on the brink of destruction, because technically this is like the closest we've been to almost nuclear confrontation since the JFK Cuban Missile Crisis with Castro. So what's happening right now, and then all of a sudden these UFOs drones are appearing, like that's not a coincidence. I truly believe, even though I think it's tied to other stuff, but I think what's happening is they're realizing that these world leaders are getting out of control. So we're trying to make our presence known and everything, like, hey, we got your backs, or they might have to intervene, whether it's friendly or hostile. But it's just interesting how they're now showing up as all this stuff is happening like overseas, because it is actually a turning point right now. Nuclear weapons, a lot of countries have like nuclear weapons, and Syria, US, these are the main countries that are in this conflict, the super nuclear spots. Like a lot of countries have nuclear weapons, but there's particular countries that have like the major amount of nuclear weapons, and the countries involved are the ones that are probably catching the ET's attention. Like they're on the brink of destruction. We have to do something like about this and everything. This has happened before. It's just that people that are not well known in the UFO community, because we have different viewers watching this, and people that are not well known or educated in the UFO community are not going to know this stuff. Like this has happened before. UFOs and ETs have interfered in nuclear situations, military situations, and this could be what's happening.
It's a good point to make that not everybody studies up on UFO activity as much as, say, like you and I, who like analyze this stuff. I know I've been following very closely at least since, I mean, loosely since 2010, but very closely since 2017. So like even the little stories over the years I've kind of cataloged away in my knowledge base, but I think a lot of people don't have the knowledge base of what these stories are, and the magnitude of how many there are as far as sightings, occurrences all over the world. Like, this isn't just happening in one spot on the planet, it's happening everywhere, especially on the East Coast. It seems like there are, a lot more activity than normal. So I do think, from someone who's been studying this for a long time, that it's happening more and more. What do you think about that? Do you think things are ramping up?
Yeah, it's definitely ramping up, and then also like the military as well, because it's just the fact that they're not hiding this. Like, this wasn't just some story that just came and disappeared. It's now like reoccurring, because like here in New York, it's actually the number one story. It's like it's either number one or number two. Like, as soon as the news starts, it's either the first story or it's the second one. Usually with UFOs,
That's
they wait until like the middle or something.
Yeah,
It's been the
or
number
the
one
end.
story or the number two story every day. This is not just
Yeah.
some like some no. It's been in the news every single day since November. But then
It's so interesting though, because here on the West Coast, most stations aren't even covering it.
and that's
So
crazy.
it's like that. I find that very strange. Usually mainstream media is real even about the stories they
Yeah.
cover.
Because even world news and like NBC News, NBC World News, ABC World News, they'll mention like either at the beginning or the middle. The local networks, like local New York City networks, they're talking about it at the beginning of the news, like every day. So it's not just like, oh, they'll talk about it like, let's say, on a Monday and then go straight to like a Wednesday or Thursday. No, it's been every day, like
Wow.
every single day. So since last month, it's been every day. And then it's not even just the same story over and over. There's like different stories. Like, there's
Oh,
different
so there's
towns.
updates every day.
Yeah, so like the 12 counties. Like, originally it was just like what, maybe 205. Now it's like 12 counties. There's 21 counties in New Jersey. Only 12 have reported it. And then since the 12 counties have reported it, now we got sightings in Philadelphia. Now we have Minnesota. That was one of the news. There was one last night. So
Mm.
and then the Oregon one with 4 commercial pilots. The Pentagon and the Canadian military, to our viewers at home who do not know this, the Pentagon and the Canadian military actually did confirm that the UFO that Biden ordered to shoot down was shot down, and they actually posted the photo of it. It's like they're trying to, they want to tell us something, but they don't know how to tell us. So
Hmm.
I just thought it was interesting how they revealed it during this. They didn't wait. They was like, yeah, we did shoot down a UFO. This is what it looks like. There's a UFO drone crisis going to New Jersey, and they were releasing this story.
In Manchester, England, there's like that sphere that showed up on a tarmac, and then like literally just shot into the air, and the I mean, it looks so much like a data collection device. I mean, I can't think of anything else that it would be. And very boldly putting itself right next to a commercial plane. There were multiple people that got video of it. Whatever technology that isn't something that the general public knows about. If that was military or not, I don't know. Or if it was otherworldly. But either way, it was strange.
Right before New Jersey had their UFO party, because I'm calling it a party. These UFOs are partying. These
Okay.
drones are partying. Right before New Jersey had their party, News Nation, a Connecticut police officer was chased down by a UFO. And they actually did a dramatization of like what it looked like. The UFO chased the police officer, beamed the light on it. So we had this one incident in Connecticut, and now we got this incident in New Jersey. Even though this stuff happens every day, but it's just interesting how some stuff led up to like all these situations.
Is our awareness raising to the point where we're looking for things more? Or is it a combination of like we're looking, plus we all have cell phones to record, so there's more like evidence? Or is this a phenomenon that is occurring more and more?
I think it might be a combination of both, but also too, we have to remember there are some locations they're not really used to UFOs. Like some of these locations in New Jersey, they're not really UFO hotspots, or UFOs aren't really there. Like, because there are places in the world that never experienced like UFOs, or maybe they have, but they're just not reported. Like usually when I hear about UFOs, it's always like Arizona, Alaska, New York, Europe. Like you don't really hear much about New Jersey. No, you really don't. This is
Yeah.
a first where I've actually heard like UFO reports in New Jersey.
There is a lot of military bases in New Jersey, though,
There are,
correct?
yeah, there
There
are.
are, yeah. And is there nuclear sites?
Don't know.
No. Okay. Yeah, it is strange that New Jersey has suddenly become a hotspot. When I saw the orb in Miami, I was like, oh, that's Miami. I mean, that's like one of the tips of the Bermuda Triangle. You know, that the energies down there are more, you know, like portals open up, like at the Miami Mall.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, that one wasn't so surprising. But yeah, New Jersey is quite surprising. One of the things that I take away from what I've watched on the hearings is the frustration in the representatives' voices, like the mayors, the House of Representatives, Congress. Like you can tell they're physically frustrated and like emotional about it. And so, and that's been quite interesting. That makes me think that people were like getting nervous.
Everything. Nobody's like freaking out over it.
Mm-hmm.
Staten Island might be freaking out because you know there are some neighborhoods you hate to say like that, personalities and everything. Like when I was looking at the reports, I'm like, oh yeah, they probably are freaking out because they probably just not used to that or don't study that stuff. I can take it calmly. Like I'm not gonna panic because like I believe there are life out there, like hostile and friendly, not just friendly but hostile. I can talk calmly about it.
This is interesting. I mean, I'm definitely every day looking at the updated stories, and I'll continue to keep following this, and maybe we do a follow-up call in like a couple
Yeah.
weeks and see where things are at from your point of view.
But yeah, I would give it till January 1st, like literally
Okay.
2025.
This is interesting because 2024 started with January 2nd, I believe, with the aliens at the Miami Mall.
Yeah.
And that was how we started out 2024. So I think it's interesting to think where we are just nearly 1 year later, and all the different things that have happened, as far as sightings, as far as like this situation with the drones, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Like I definitely think like analyzing it again in January is a good idea, because I think something bigger is coming. I really I feel it like intuitively. It just feels like, and I don't know what it is, but I do know when I see it in my like vision, I see that everything changes after this event, and I don't know what it is, like a tipping point, but it's like we're going this way, and then all of a sudden humanity goes this way,
Yeah.
or you know, it just like it's totally different. That's what I'm seeing, and it seems to me that time is almost speeding up. So I feel like it's going to happen soon, but
And
I don't think it should be scary. I think it's just the new vibrations of our planet are going to change drastically.
Yeah. It was also like the question he was asking about is our awareness like grown, or is it just like something, the awareness is like it's growing, like you know
Mm-hmm.
we're in 2024. Our brains have like highly developed over these years and everything, to the point where it's like people like me and you can handle it calmly, whereas people that weren't exposed, and I think that's what that is, the people that just weren't exposed to like UFO knowledge and everything are the ones that like panicking because they're like, okay, are they UFOs, are they drones? So like, you know, those are the ones that are like panicking, unfortunately. Which is why they always say knowledge is power. It's like a protection. Like once you get engaged in the knowledge and everything, like life becomes like less worrisome, which is true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Terrell, thank you for taking the time out of your day to chat with me, and kind of think about these questions. It's super informative. I know I'm going to share this video with a couple different groups that I've been working with, that are all over the world, actually. That we kind of report back to each other about, you know, what's going on in our localities. You know. So I really thank you for your expertise on your media analysis and following the story.
Thank you. And also, I want to say this to anybody that's watching that either lives in New Jersey or any of these hotspot areas, because we know how people can act. So anybody that has like access to a helicopter or airplane and want to get like any ideas, don't do it. Do not engage with unidentified flying objects. Don't do it. You will get the L. Do not even attempt that.
I've heard a couple people say I have heard some sound bites where people are like, if it flies over my house, I'm going to take it down,
you know. Yes, they've been saying that here in New York and Jersey. People was like, they're going to take matters in their own hands. People, don't do that. Because let's say these are ETs. Don't do it. You will get the L. Like, don't do it.
That is such good advice. All right. Well, until next time, I'll enjoy your day. And thanks again, Terrell.
Yeah, thank you. And everyone have a great day as well. And please be safe.
Awesome. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Yeah.